Signed with ink written in the hearts. Chapter 1, Terms and Conditions. My name is Ethan Hale. I'm 30 years old, the eldest son of the Hale family, and the reason I'm sitting in a glass-walled conference room about to marry a man I met less than 3 weeks ago is simple. Control. Control over my future. Control over my family's expectations. Control over a life that has never truly belonged to me. This marriage is not about love. It never was. Across the table from me sits Lucas Reed, 27, former athlete, currently unemployed by bad luck and worse timing. He has warm eyes that don't match the sharp way he looks at contracts, and a mouth that clearly doesn't know how to stay quiet. His leg bounces under the table like it's fighting gravity. Annoying. The lawyer drones on about clauses and conditions, but I already know every line. I memorized them last night. Lucas, on the other hand, leans back in his chair like this is a dentist appointment instead of a legal decision that will bind our lives together. So, he says, tapping the edge of the folder, just to be clear, this is a marriage, not a cult, right? I don't look at him. It's a contract, I say. Read it. He does. For about 5 seconds. 2 years, he mutters. Public appearances. Shared residence. No emotional obligations. He looks up. You sure you're human? I meet his gaze then. Calm. Unmoved. Humans complicate things. He snorts. That explains a lot. The reasons are laid out plainly. I need a spouse to stabilize my public image and secure my inheritance. A woman would expect affection, permanence, a future I'm not prepared to offer. A man is safer. Cleaner. Temporary. Lucas needs money. Immediate, guaranteed. Medical bills for his sister. A house he's about to lose. Pride swallowed for survival. Neither of us is desperate enough to pretend this is romantic. We agree on rules. Separate bedrooms. No intimacy. No jealousy. No falling in love. 2 years. Then we walk away. Lucas twirls the pen between his fingers. Rule 5 seems optimistic. It's realistic. He studies me, then smiles, slow, sharp, infuriating. You're really confident nothing's going to go wrong? I don't gamble. Funny, he says, signing the contract. This feels like one. I sign next. Just like that, Ethan Hale and Lucas Reed become legally bound. On paper. The kiss wasn't part of the agreement. A photographer clears his throat, already raising the camera. Just a small kiss for the announcement. Something natural. Lucas freezes. His fingers tense at his side. I don't hesitate. My hand closes around his wrist before he can step away, firm enough to stop him, gentle enough not to draw attention. Relax, I murmur. It's just for show. His eyes flick to mine. You don't warn people before doing that. Then it wouldn't look real. The kiss is brief. Controlled. Barely there. And yet, when I pull back, his breath is uneven. So is mine. Cameras flash. Applause follows. The world accepts us instantly. Lucas slips his arm through mine afterward, smiling too brightly. Careful, he says under his breath. People might think you actually like me. I tighten my hold, just enough to remind him. They'll know, I reply calmly, exactly who you belong to. His smile falters. Good. This marriage is a contract. These are just terms and conditions. So why does it already feel like we've agreed to something far more dangerous? Chapter 2, Separate Rooms, Shared Silence. The apartment is expensive. Clean lines. Neutral colors. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a city that never pauses long enough to notice two men learning how to exist in the same space. It was chosen for privacy, for image, for convenience. Not for comfort. There are 2 bedrooms at the end of the hallway. Lucas stops in the middle of it, hands on his hips, scanning the place like he's trying to guess which room will betray him first. So, he says, coin toss or silent judgment? I take the left. I reply. He blinks. You didn't even pretend to consider it. I don't pretend. He rolls his eyes and disappears into the right room, slamming the door a little harder than necessary. Childish. I unpack methodically. Clothes folded. Shoes aligned. Documents locked away. Order calms me. It always has. From the other room comes a series of dull thumps, followed by a curse and something crashing. I pause. Are you moving in or starting a war with your suitcase? I call. Very funny, Lucas shouts back. Some of us weren't raised by military manuals. A smirk tugs at my mouth before I can stop it. The silence that follows feels off. We don't officially discuss rules for the shared space, but they form anyway. The couch becomes his territory. He sprawls across it like he owns the place, shoes kicked off, remote always in hand. The kitchen becomes mine. I cook. He watches. He criticizes. He eats everything anyway. The thermostat becomes a battleground. He turns it up. I turn it down. By the third time, he storms out of his room wearing a hoodie and socks. Do you enjoy freezing people? I enjoy efficiency. I'm losing circulation. You're dramatic. And you're heartless. He cranks the thermostat up and walks away like he's won. I wait exactly 10 seconds before lowering it again. Petty? Yes. Necessary? Absolutely. Dinner is awkward. I cook. He orders takeout as backup, apparently assuming I'll poison him. We end up eating both. Across from each other. Too close. Not close enough. He pokes at my food suspiciously. If I die, I'm haunting you. You won't, I say. He takes a bite. Pauses. This is actually good. I know. He frowns. You're supposed to deny it or act humble. I don't lie. He laughs then, unrestrained, warm, sudden. It fills the room. I look back at my plate, pretending my focus hasn't slipped. Silence follows, heavier than before. The power goes out at 11:47 p.m. The lights die. The city disappears. And from down the hall comes a very undignified yelp. It's a blackout, I say calmly, grabbing my phone. Not a murder scene. That does not make it less dark. I step into the hallway to find Lucas standing there, arms crossed, trying very hard not to look unsettled. The fuse box is in the living room, I tell him. Great. You go first. Afraid. No, a pause. Then, quieter, maybe. I don't comment. He follows too close as I walk. Our shoulders brush. The contact is brief. Accidental. It still sends something sharp and unwelcome straight through me. The power snaps back on with a click. We stand there longer than necessary. Lucas steps back first. Well. Crisis resolved. Yes. He looks like he wants to say something. Then thinks better of it. 2 doors close again. Sleep doesn't come easily. Sometime after midnight, I hear footsteps. A door opening. Soft hesitation. A knock. I open my door to find Lucas standing there, hair messy, expression uncertain. I left my charger in the living room, he says. Didn't want to wander. Breaking the unspoken rules. Something like that. I step aside. He retrieves the charger, then lingers. You ever notice, he says slowly, how quiet this place gets when we're not arguing? I meet his eyes. Yes. He nods, like that confirms something he wasn't ready to admit. Good night, Ethan. Good night, Lucas. His door closes. The silence remains. But now it doesn't feel empty. It feels shared. And that realization settles heavier than any argument ever could. Chapter 3: Public Smiles, Private War. Public places demand performance. Private spaces demand honesty. I'm good at the first. Less prepared for the second. The car ride to the event is quiet, too quiet. Lucas sits beside me, phone in hand, leg bouncing like he's bracing for impact. He's wearing a black suit that fits him better than it has any right to, the tie loosened just enough to look intentional. I hate that I notice. You keep staring, he says without looking up. I'm assessing, I reply. Sure you are. The corner of his mouth lifts. Annoying. The moment we step out of the car, the cameras begin. Lucas's hand finds mine without asking, warm, confident, familiar. He leans in, smiling for the flashes like this is second nature. Relax, he murmurs. Smile. You're married. I return the smile. Perfect. Practiced. We move through the room like we belong there. Compliments. Handshakes. Questions about our marriage that Lucas answers with ease, weaving humor and affection together so naturally it almost feels real. Almost. Then it happens. A woman, young, sharp-eyed, interested, laughs too close to Lucas. Her hand lingers on his arm. Too long. Something tightens in my chest. I step in without thinking, placing a hand at Lucas's waist. Possessive. Deliberate. His eyes flick to mine, surprised. Is everything all right? I ask her pleasantly. Perfect, Lucas answers instead, squeezing my hand. My husband just gets territorial. The word hits harder than it should. Husband. The woman laughs awkwardly and excuses herself. Lucas turns to me, eyebrows raised. That was unnecessary. So was the flirting. I wasn't flirting. You were smiling. People smile at me, he snaps. It's not a crime. It is when it blurs lines. His gaze sharpens. You don't get to decide where my lines are. The smile stays on my face for the room. The war begins beneath it. The car ride home is silent. The kind of silence that presses against the ribs. You embarrassed me, Lucas finally says. You crossed a boundary. Which one? He laughs without humor. The contract one or the one you invented in your head? I pull the car to a stop harder than necessary. Don't push me. Then stop pretending you don't care. The words hang there, dangerous and exposed. I don't answer. Inside the apartment, the argument ignites. You don't get to touch me like that just because someone looked at me, he says. You didn't pull away. Because you didn't give me the chance. I was protecting our image. Or your ego. Silence. Thick. Charged. We're standing too close again. His chest rises with each breath. Mine matches it. Say it, he challenges softly. Say you didn't feel anything. I don't. He steps back first, jaw tight. That's what I thought. He turns toward his room, then stops. For the record, he adds, not looking at me, if you're going to claim me in public, don't be surprised when I start believing it. The door shuts. I stand there longer than necessary, staring at the empty hallway. Public smiles are easy. It's the private war that's going to destroy us. Chapter 4: Don't touch what's mine. The problem with unspoken things is that they grow. They slip into the air, into the space between two people, thick and restless, until every glance feels loaded and every silence screams. After the fight, the apartment becomes a battlefield marked by avoidance. Lucas avoids me with intention. He wakes up earlier. Comes home later. Moves through rooms like I'm a hazard he hasn't decided how to handle yet. I tell myself it's a relief. It isn't. The next public event is smaller. Private. Intimate. Worse. Lucas wears a soft grey shirt this time, sleeves rolled to his elbows. I notice the way someone else notices too, eyes lingering, interest obvious. A junior executive. Too young. Too eager. They talk. They laugh. They stand too close. My jaw tightens. I feel it before I think it. I move without permission, mine or his. My hand settles on Lucas's lower back, fingers firm. Claiming. His body stills instantly, then leans back into the touch like it belongs there. Problem, the executive asks. Lucas smiles sweetly. Just my husband reminding me he exists. I don't correct him. The man backs off. Lucas turns slowly, eyes sharp. You promised not to do that again. I promised not to make it obvious. That was obvious. So was he. His lips part, like he's about to argue. Instead, he exhales and looks away. Don't, he says quietly. Don't touch me like that unless you mean it. The words land harder than any accusation. At home, the tension snaps. You don't own me, Lucas says, pacing the living room. I never said I did. You didn't have to. He gestures sharply. You look at me like I'm something someone could steal. Maybe they could. He stops. What? The truth slips out before I can catch it. Don't let people touch what's mine. Silence crashes down. His expression changes, shock first, then something softer, more dangerous. Mine, he repeats. I realize too late what I've said. That's not, I start. He steps closer. Close enough that I can feel his warmth. You can't say things like that and expect me not to take them seriously. My breath catches. This is still a contract. Then why are you jealous? I don't answer. He looks at my mouth again. I look at his. For a moment, the world narrows to breath and heat and a line we're both staring at. Then he steps back. Figure out what you want, he says, voice low. Because I'm not something you get to claim halfway. He turns toward his room. The door closes. I stand there, pulse loud in my ears, the words echoing in my head. Don't touch what's mine. I don't know when it stopped being part of the act. I only know it already feels like the truth. Chapter 5, Lines we pretend don't exist. Lines are supposed to protect you. They are drawn to keep things clear, contained, safe. Ours were written in ink, signed with intention, reinforced with denial. They still blur. After that night, Lucas doesn't avoid me anymore. He challenges me. He sits closer than necessary. Speaks softer than required. Wears clothes that make noticing unavoidable. Every interaction feels deliberate, like he's testing where the edge is, how far he can lean before I react. I react every time. It happens on a night that shouldn't matter. Rain hammers against the windows. Thunder rattles the glass. The power flickers once, twice, then dies. I don't even have time to comment before Lucas appears in the doorway of my room, blanket clutched in one hand, pillow in the other. Don't, he says immediately. I'm not here because I'm scared. I raise an eyebrow. I just don't like sleeping alone when it's loud, he adds, defensive. The lie is thin. I don't call it out. Fine, I say. Stay on your side. He snorts. You say that like you think I won't. We lie on opposite edges of the bed, backs almost touching, silence loud between us. The storm presses in, thunder rolling too close, too violent. Another crash. Lucas shifts. His back brushes mine. Still. Then closer. Your bed's warmer, he mutters. I don't move. I should. At some point, the line disappears. His arm drapes across my waist, hesitant at first, like he's waiting for permission I never give. I don't push it away. My hand finds his wrist, intending to remove it, maybe. It stays. Our breathing sinks before either of us realizes. This doesn't count, he whispers. None of this counts, I reply. His fingers tighten slightly. We're lying to each other. Morning light creeps in slowly, soft and unforgiving. I wake to warmth, too much of it. Lucas is pressed against me, face tucked into my shoulder, one leg tangled with mine. Comfortable. Familiar. Dangerous. I don't move. For one perfect, terrible moment, it feels right. Then he stirs. Freezes. We pull apart like we've been burned. That was, he starts. An accident. Right. Silence again. Louder than before. He leaves without looking back. The rest of the day feels wrong. Too quiet. Too empty. I catch myself listening for his footsteps, his voice, the sound of him existing somewhere nearby. That night, he avoids my eyes. I avoid the memory of how easily I held him. There are lines we pretend don't exist. But the truth is, we crossed them. And neither of us knows how to step back. Chapter 6, Kisses That Don't Count. We don't talk about the night. Not the storm. Not the bed. Not the way my arm had curved around him like it belonged there. Instead, we pretend harder. Lucas gets louder. I get colder. The space between us becomes a weapon we both know how to use. We pass each other in hallways without looking. We argue about nothing, dishes, schedules, the volume of the television, anything except the truth. It almost works. Almost. The fight starts over something stupid. You moved my things, Lucas says, standing in the kitchen, arms crossed. They were in the way. They were mine. You don't own the counter. I don't need to, he snaps. I live here. The words hit sharper than they should. So do I reply. Don't forget why. His eyes flash. Oh, I haven't. I just didn't realize it came with territorial behavior. Don't twist this. Then stop acting like you get to decide where I exist. Silence stretches, tight and vibrating. He steps closer. I don't back away. Say it, he challenges. Say you didn't want me there that night. I don't. His breath is warm. Too close. You don't get to look at me like that and pretend you're unaffected, he says softly. Lucas. He kisses me. It's not gentle. It's not planned. It's frustration and tension and everything we haven't said crashing together. His hand grips my shirt like he's angry at it. I respond before sense catches up, before the contract, the rules, the carefully built walls. When we break apart, we are both breathing hard. That didn't count, he says immediately. I nod. It didn't. We lie. After that, everything is worse. He brushes past me deliberately. I feel it every time. Our arguments gain an edge. Our silences throb. Every accidental touch sparks awareness instead of surprise. Another kiss happens 3 days later. In the hallway. Short. Desperate. Forgotten as soon as it ends. This still doesn't count, he says. It doesn't, I agree. We stop pretending they don't matter. We start pretending they don't mean anything. Late one night, I hear him laughing on the phone in his room. Soft. Intimate. Not meant for me. Something twists ugly in my chest. I tell myself it's irritation. I tell myself it's pride. I don't tell myself the truth. When he comes out, he finds me still awake. Who was that? I ask, too casually. He pauses. Does it matter? No. He nods. Good. He walks away. The kiss I didn't stop thinking about burns on my mouth. Kisses that don't count shouldn't feel like this. But they do. And the worst part? I already know I'll let it happen again. Chapter 7, If it's fake, why does it hurt? Lucas starts dressing differently. Not dramatically. Not enough that I can accuse him of anything. Just enough that it feels intentional, shirts that fit too well, sleeves rolled just high enough, hair styled like he's going somewhere that matters. He starts coming home late. Later than usual. I don't ask where he's been. I notice anyway. The confirmation comes on a Thursday night. He's standing by the door, checking his reflection in the mirror, adjusting his collar. He looks nervous. The kind of nervous that doesn't belong to contracts or obligations. You have plans, I say. He glances at me. Hesitates. Yeah. With who? The question slips out sharper than intended. He studies my face like he's weighing something. Then he shrugs. Someone real. The word lands like a bruise. Don't be late, I say. He smiles. Polite. Distant. Don't wait up. The door closes. The apartment feels hollow. I try to work. I fail. My mind circles the same thought, over and over, relentless and stupid and unprofessional. Who? Why? Does he smile like that with them? I don't recognize the anger when it arrives. It's too personal. Too loud. I tell myself it's the contract. I tell myself it's about appearances. I don't believe either. When he finally comes home, it's past midnight. He smells like someone else's cologne. That's when I lose control. So, I say from the couch, voice even despite the tension crawling under my skin. Was it worth it? He freezes. Slowly turns. What's your problem? You're wearing that smile again. Because I had a good time. The words burn. You didn't think to mention it might look bad. For who? He snaps. The cameras? Or you? I stand. This was supposed to be fake. It is fake, he fires back. That's the whole point. Then why does it hurt? The question slips out before I can stop it. Silence crashes down between us. Lucas stares at me like I've said something dangerous. You don't get to ask that, he says quietly. I get to ask whatever I want. No, he says, voice shaking now. You don't get to act like you don't care and then interrogate me when I try to live my life. I'm not interrogating you. You're jealous. The word hangs heavy. I'm not, I lie. He laughs, sharp, bitter. You kissed me. You touched me like I belonged to you. And now you're angry because I went out with someone who actually chose me. That hits harder than anything else. You knew what this was, I say coldly. So did you, he replies. But somewhere along the way, you forgot to stop feeling. He turns toward his room. Don't, I say. He stops, but doesn't turn around. If this is fake, he continues, voice low, then stop looking at me like you're losing something. The door shuts. I don't move for a long time. If it's fake, it shouldn't hurt like this. And yet, it does. More than I ever planned for. Chapter 8, The Sound of Jealousy. Jealousy isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't shout or break things. It settles. It sits in the chest, heavy and sharp, listening to everything. Lucas doesn't look at me the next morning. Not when he passes me in the hallway. Not when he pours coffee and drinks it standing up. Not when he grabs his keys and says, I'll be late. Again. The door clicks shut. The sound echoes longer than it should. The event that night is unavoidable. A formal dinner. Investors. Media. Appearances that can't be cancelled without consequences. Lucas shows up late, slipping into the seat beside me just as the lights dim. He smells different. Not unfamiliar, just not mine. My jaw tightens before I can stop it. You're late, I murmur. He keeps his eyes forward. You noticed. The way he says it makes something twist painfully. Conversation flows around us. Laughing. Toasts. Polite interest. Lucas plays his role perfectly, smiling, charming, attentive. Too attentive. A man across the table keeps leaning toward him. Laughing too easily. touching his arm like it's nothing. I hear it then. Not a sound exactly, more like pressure. The steady thud of my own pulse in my ears. I interrupt without thinking. Lucas, I say, calm and controlled, we should circulate. He looks surprised, but he stands. My hand finds his waist again. Firmer this time. Possessive enough that there's no mistaking it. The man notices. So does everyone else. Lucas stiffens, then slowly relaxes into the touch. His fingers curl into my sleeve. The room hums. Are you trying to make a point? He asks quietly once we're alone. Yes. Care to explain it? I lean in just enough for only him to hear. You don't belong to him. His breath hitches. And who do I belong to? He asks. The answer is already there, burning behind my teeth. Me. The word feels like a confession. The car ride home is unbearable. You don't get to say that, Lucas snaps, breaking the silence. I already did. You don't get to claim me when it suits you. I don't do anything halfway. That's the problem, he fires back. You don't do feelings halfway either, and then you pretend you don't feel them at all. The truth rings too clear. At home, the argument spills out of control. You hate it when anyone else touches me, he says. You hear that sound in your head? That's jealousy. I step closer. Say it again. Jealousy, he repeats. You're drowning in it. Because it's unbearable, I admit quietly. Because every time someone looks at you, it feels like they're taking something that's already mine. The silence that follows is deafening. Lucas's voice is softer when he speaks again. Then stop pretending. I don't kiss him this time. I rest my forehead against his, breath unsteady. The sound of jealousy is quiet. But once you hear it, you can never unhear it. Chapter 9, Almost Leaving. The contract sits on the table between us. Not physically, but I feel its weight everywhere. In the way Lucas keeps his distance. In the way I count days without meaning to. In the way silence has stopped being shared and started being painful. 2 months left. I know because I've checked. More than once. Lucas starts packing slowly. Not enough to be obvious. Just small things disappearing. Books. A jacket. The mug he always uses. It's careful. Intentional. Like he doesn't want me to notice. I notice everything. You're reorganizing. I ask one night. He doesn't look up. Something like that. The lie is gentle. That's what scares me. He gets an offer. A job in another city. A clean break. Stability. Freedom from contracts and pretending. He tells me over dinner like it's just another detail, not something that cracks the room open. I leave in 3 weeks, he says. The words land wrong. You didn't have to wait, I reply, voice steady out of habit. The contract ends soon anyway. He finally looks at me. And that's all this is to you? I don't answer. Because the truth might make him stay. And I don't know if I'm allowed to ask that. That night, I don't sleep. Memories come uninvited, him laughing on the couch, stealing my pillow, leaning into my touch like it's instinct. Things I never planned to keep. I find him on the balcony near dawn, suitcase open at his feet. You're leaving early, I say. He nods. I thought it'd be easier. For who? For both of us. I step closer. Too late. Too careful. Lucas. He looks at me then. Really looks. Don't say it unless you mean it. The words freeze in my throat. He zips the suitcase. That sound hurts more than any argument we've had. The apartment feels wrong without him. Too clean. Too quiet. Too empty. Hours pass before I realize something is missing. Not him. The sound of him. I find the contract folder still in the drawer. Unchanged. Untorn. Waiting. I hold it for a long time. Almost leaving hurts worse than goodbye. Because it leaves hope behind. And hope is the most dangerous thing of all. Chapter 10, written without ink. The apartment doesn't feel empty because Lucas is gone. It feels empty because he might not come back. That thought settles into my chest, heavy and relentless, refusing to be ignored. I sit at the table long after sunrise, the contract folder open in front of me like an accusation. 2 signatures. 2 years. So many rules. None of them explain this. I close the folder. For the first time, I don't care what it says. I find him at the train station. He's standing near the platform, suitcase at his feet, phone in his hand like he's waiting for a reason to stay, or an excuse to leave. He looks smaller here. Unprotected. Real. He hears my footsteps and turns. For a moment, neither of us speaks. You weren't supposed to come, he says quietly. I know. Then why did you? Because the words won't stay inside anymore. Because nothing important between us was ever written in that contract, I say. And I'm done pretending it was. His jaw tightens. You're late. I'm on time, I reply. For once. He laughs softly, but there's no humor in it. You can't undo everything with a speech. I'm not trying to undo it, I say. I'm trying to tell the truth. I step closer. There was a moment, maybe many, where this stopped being fake. Where it stopped being safe. I ignored it because it didn't fit the plan. Plans don't matter, he says. Choices do. I'm choosing you. The words are simple. They terrify me. He looks at me like he doesn't trust the ground beneath his feet. And when this gets hard, he asks. When it stops being convenient. I won't hide behind ink, I answer. I won't pretend silence is protection. The announcement echoes through the station. Final boarding. Lucas exhales slowly. You're terrible at timing. I know. He steps forward anyway. The kiss this time isn't angry. It isn't desperate. It doesn't pretend. It's quiet. Steady. Real. When we part, his forehead rests against mine. This isn't in the contract, he murmurs. No, I agree. It's written without ink. The train doors close behind us. And for the first time, I don't feel like I'm losing control. I feel like I've finally chosen something worth keeping. Chapter 11, no labels, just us. We don't announce anything. There's no dramatic reveal, no speeches, no rewriting of contracts in front of witnesses. Lucas comes back to the apartment with the same suitcase he almost left with, and I move it back to its place without comment. That's how it starts. Quietly. Intentionally. He claims the couch again. I let him. He complains about the thermostat. I don't change it. These are small things, but they feel like choices now, not rules. One night, he says, so, what are we? I don't answer right away. Not because I don't know, but because I finally understand what doesn't matter. We're us, I say. Without explanations. He watches me closely, then nods. Good. I don't like boxes anyway. The world still exists. People still look. Whisper. Assume. Ask questions that aren't theirs to ask. At events, someone once says, so which one of you? Lucas cuts them off with a smile. We don't do labels. My hand finds his instinctively. He squeezes it back. That's answer enough. We still fight. About stupid things. About serious ones. About nothing at all. He steals my clothes. I complain. He wears them anyway. I pretend not to like it. You're possessive, he says one night, amused. You're provocative. I reply. He grins. We're perfect. We're not. But we're honest. Some mornings, I wake up to find him already watching me, expression soft, unguarded. What? I ask. Nothing, he says. Just, you. There's no fear in it now. No denial. Just warmth. The contract remains in a drawer. Untouched. Unnecessary. One evening, Lucas pulls it out, flipping through the pages like it's a relic. We should get rid of this, he says. Burn it. Frame it, he jokes. As a reminder of how wrong we were. I take it from him, tear it cleanly in half. He watches, eyes wide. Well, he says slowly. That was dramatic. I'm learning, I reply. He kisses me then, easy, familiar, certain. No labels. No rules. Just us. And for the first time in my life, that feels like more than enough. Chapter 12, signed with ink, written in the hearts. The paper no longer matters. It sits on the table where it once decided everything, names, timelines, conditions. Ink pressed too hard, signatures sharp and certain. I remember how confident I was when I signed it. How sure I was that control could replace feeling. I was wrong. Lucas stands by the window, light catching in his hair, phone in his hand. He's smiling at something, nothing urgent, nothing important. Just life. He looks at me and the smile softens, like it belongs here now. Are you staring again? He asks. I'm remembering, I reply. He hums. Dangerous habit. We don't make a spectacle of it. No announcements. No ceremonies. No promises spoken too loudly. Just a quiet moment where we both understand that this, us, is no longer borrowed time. He sits beside me. Our shoulders touch. You know, he says casually, we never actually followed half the rules. I noticed. Especially the no feelings part. I glance at him. You broke that first. He laughs. Liar. You were doomed the moment you got jealous. I don't deny it. That night, we take the contract out together. Not with anger. Not with regret. With amusement. Lucas traces the signature with his finger. This was supposed to keep things simple. It did, I say. At the beginning. And now. I fold the paper slowly, deliberately. Tear it clean down the middle. The sound is quiet. Final. Now, I say, we don't need ink. He looks at me like he understands exactly what that means. Later, lying together in the dark, his head resting against my chest, I realize something I never planned for and can no longer deny. Love didn't ask permission. It didn't wait for definitions. It didn't care about the rules. It showed up anyway. Signed with ink, we were careful. Written in the hearts, we were inevitable. And for the first time, I don't want control. I want this. Always. Special chapter from Lucas' side. I used to think silence was safer. If I didn't name things, they couldn't trap me. If I joked enough, deflected enough, nothing could really touch me. That's how I survived the contract, the pretending, the way Ethan Hale looked at me like he was constantly standing at the edge of something dangerous. Now I know better. Silence was never safety. It was just fear with better manners. Ethan doesn't realize how loud he is. Not with words, but with presence. The way his gaze follows me when he thinks I'm not paying attention. The way his jaw tightens when I get too close to anyone else. The way his hand always finds my waist like it's muscle memory, not choice. He thinks I didn't notice when it changed. I noticed everything. The first time he kissed me, I told myself it didn't count. The second time, I knew I was lying. By the third, I didn't care. Tonight, it's just us. No contracts. No performances. No rules left to break. He's leaning against the kitchen counter, sleeves rolled up, watching me with that look, the one that makes my stomach tighten and my pulse trip over itself. What? I ask. You're doing it again, he says. Doing what? Looking like trouble. I grin and step closer. You married it. He exhales sharply when I crowd into his space. His hands land on my hips, firm, certain, like he's done pretending restraint is a virtue. This isn't fake anymore, I murmur. His thumb presses into my side. It never was. The kiss is slow this time. Not angry. Not rushed. Hot in the way that sinks under the skin and stays there. I slide my fingers into his hair, tug just enough to make him hiss into my mouth. He groans low, dangerous, like he's been holding back far too long, and maybe he has. Lucas, he says, voice rough, like saying my name costs him something. Yeah. I whisper, lips brushing his jaw, his throat, right where I know it gets to him. His grip tightens. You're impossible. I smile against his skin. You love that. He doesn't deny it. He lifts me onto the counter like it's effortless, like I belong exactly here. Heat coils between us, tension snapping, restraint burning away piece by piece. No ink. No rules. No pretending. Just want. Just choice. Just us, finally honest, finally unguarded, finally mine in the only way that matters. And when he kisses me again, deeper, slower, hotter. I know this time, it counts. Some stories aren't about labels. They're about hearts that find each other anyway. If this chapter stayed with you, if you felt the silence, the jealousy, the love, then stay with us. Subscribe to BL Without Labels. Because some stories are written without ink, but deep in the heart. If you believe love doesn't need labels, like this video. New chapters. New emotions. Same honest hearts. Don't just watch, tell us. Which moment hit you the hardest in this chapter? Did you feel the tension, or the love first? Comment below, we read everything.